Okay, well, welcome everybody. This is BA 230, Introduction to Business Law. I am John Hasbrook right here, and I am a practicing attorney. That's what I do in the real world, out there, right, off campus. I come up here and teach on the side. I've been teaching this since 1999, and they kind of rounded me up. The guy that was teaching it was an attorney here in town, and he moved. And so they called me up because they knew I was an attorney. They said, hey, can you come fill in until we find somebody that knows what they're doing? And so they still haven't found anybody for almost 20 years. So here I am. No, it's a joke, right? No, I'm a practicing lawyer. That's what I do in the real world. So this is Introduction to Business Law. Like I said, I'm a practicing attorney. My practice is here in Monmouth. I'm over on Atwater Street, which is about 3 blocks past Burgerville towards Independence on Main Street. And my primary area of practice is I do small business setup, S corporations, LLCs, C corps, a lot of contract law, a lot of real estate law, wills and trusts and estate planning and that kind of thing. So literally, I practice what I preach, literally, right? That's kind of a joke too. I'm from Salem originally, went to Sprague and went to Willamette. That's where I got my law degree. My undergrad as well. My undergrad degree is in economics, and originally I wanted to get a PhD in econ. And then I started taking that class called calculus. I'm not so good with math, so I decided, no, I'm not going to get a PhD, I'm going to go to law school. So now I don't have to do math, I hire somebody to do it for me, right? After I graduated law school, I went to work in Portland, downtown, for the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office, where I was a prosecutor. So I was what's called the Deputy DA in downtown Portland. So I worked with the Portland Police Bureau, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, the state police, various different agencies, and I prosecuted crime in Portland. So I did that for a number of years, and then afterwards I went to work in the Salem area for a trucking company. Semi-trucks, right? Big rigs. I wasn't driving trucks. I was in-house, it's called corporate counsel, and my job there, they were self-insured, and so whenever they would get into, like one of their trucks would run over a car or run into a loading dock or a bridge, we would get sued. My job was to defend them in court, so I'd fly to Tennessee or California. Sometimes I'd go to Canada and deal with the lawsuits. And I did other stuff too, union law and transportation law. And then I moved over here to Monmouth in about '97, and I took over, actually, this lawyer here in town that was the attorney for my parents, and he knew I was living in town. And so he called me up one day and said, hey, I want to retire, you want to buy me out? I'm like, sure. So I moved here to Monmouth and took over his practice in about '97, and I've been here now ever since. So it's, oh geez, over 20 years. I'll tell you a little bit about my background for a couple reasons. Number one, this class is Introduction to Business Law, and I want you to know that that's what I do. And also, as we work our way through this, is a very practical class in a lot of ways, real world. We're going to be talking about not just business law, but really this is kind of like introduction to the American legal system in a way. We're going to be talking about the different types of law that we have, how that law is made, what branches of government create different types of law, a little bit about our court system, a little bit about the different categories of law, like contract law and tort law, and a little bit about real estate, a little bit about estate planning, just kind of a smattering of everything. So it's really kind of an introduction to, like I say, the whole United States legal system on a pretty basic level. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about some of the specifics for the class. So first of all, if you need to get a hold of me for some reason, this is my phone number for my law practice right here, 503-838-0251. If you need to call me, that's the best number to call me. I do have a number here at Western, but it's not a real number. It goes to automatically to voicemail, and I will tell you right now, it's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of my time. Call me at my law office. If you call me there, tell me you're my student, and they'll either put you right through if I'm there and available. If not, they'll give you my voicemail, or you'll get my answering service. So just make sure you tell them you're a student, and then they'll put you through. For email, my Western email is hasbroj@wu.edu. And then I also give you here my law office email, which is johnhasbrook@msn.com. The reason for that is I check my law office email a lot more often than I do my Western email. That's the email that goes to my desk at my law office, my iPhone, and my laptop at home, and well, I don't have an iWatch yet, but if I did, that's where it would go, right? So I put that there. What I recommend you do if you want to email me at both addresses. That way you'll get me for sure. If you do send me an email, make sure in the subject line you put in like BA 230 class or you know, Western class or something in the subject line. If you don't, you're going to go into my junk box. I get about 300 emails a day from various different things, and I have my spam filter set pretty high, so it's really important that you put that in the subject line. If you send me an email, I don't respond, you know, that day, that's probably what happened. So either call me or just see me after class or something. In terms of my office, I do have an office here on campus at West House, although I will tell you I'm rarely there. Literally what I do is I come teach class here, and then I go back to my law office, which is only about 5 minutes away. And then I come back up and teach class. I teach 3 classes here and 1 at Oregon State. And so I literally go there or there. So if you need to get a hold of me and you want to meet, send me an email or see me after class, and we can either meet after class or before class, or we can set an appointment to meet at West House in my office over there, or you can come see me at my law office, which is just down the road. So if you go over to my office at West House, you're really probably not going to find me unless you're lucky. So just be aware of that, but feel free to send me an email. We can figure something out for an appointment, you know, that works for both of us. Okay, about the class. So let's talk about the books. So there are sort of 2 books. The first is this book here, which is Beatty Samuelson, Business Law for the Legal Environment, and I think I'm up to the 6th edition. Yeah, you got one there. Did they have it at the bookstore?
Yeah, Amazon.
Beautiful. How much?
22 now.
Nice, okay. So technically they're up to the 9th edition on this thing. I've been sticking with the 6th edition because it's cheap, trying to save you guys some money. I will tell you right now, if you can find a 5th edition or a 4th edition, that'll work too. I don't, in this class, use the textbook a whole lot. Primarily the textbook is for background reading, so you can look up like the vocabulary words, read about the topics and that sort of thing. I don't really say, okay, turn to page 15 and let's read together in class. I don't do that. This is a lecture class. So I talk and you guys take a nap. I mean, listen, right? So the textbook is really primarily for background. If you really probably don't need to bring it to class. I mean, I know it's kind of heavy and stuff. So it's more for background reading. I will be putting my book on reserve at the library on, I think, a 2-hour reserve, or maybe it's 4 hours, I don't remember. But, so if you just want to go over there and read it, that's fine too. If you want to share it with another student or whatever, I will tell you just honestly, some students never even buy my book, this one, okay? The other book is this. This is a compilation of handouts and overheads that I will be using in class every week. And you definitely want to get this. Now, they have this at the bookstore, at least I hope they do. I haven't been over, you got it, okay. Okay, good, all right. Was it like 10 bucks or something?
7.
So, okay, cool. So I put this together. I do have this on our Moodle page, which I'll show you in a minute, in a PDF format. So if you don't want to buy it, you can just print it out yourself. Or just put it on your pad or whatever, that works too. I do recommend, however, they do it in hard copy, and the reason why is I will be using this in class, and you're going to want to take notes on it. So like, for example, this page here, I do little notes and stuff, and you're going to want to take notes on there. You can do that on the pad too, it's fine. But also, this is where, when I make the midterm exam and the final exam, I have 3 types of questions: fill in the blank, multiple choice, and true false. The fill in the blank questions come out of this blue book. And I will literally be telling you in class which pages are likely to be on the midterm. Some of them are 100% for sure, like this one. That's why I have 100% there. This definitely will be on the midterm as a fill in the blank question. And so that's where you're going to want to make notes, make sure when you're studying that you'll know which pages are on there. And don't worry, I'll review all that later on many times, okay? So definitely get this blue book, bring this with you to class. That's what I use every class, and it's kind of stuff I put together over the years I've been teaching this, this class. If you have a problem downloading this off Moodle, I've noticed lately that some of the downloads, Moodle's been kind of weird about downloading the PDFs. You can shoot me an email and I can just send it to you, but try to download it off Moodle first. If you do have a problem, let me know so I can fix it, okay? They upgraded Moodle. Every time I do an upgrade, it kind of gets weird on us. So if you have any problems with Moodle, please let me know so I can fix it. All right, in terms of the class itself, essentially I've got a class schedule here, which is the dates and the approximate chapters we're going to be going over. From a flow standpoint, literally I'm going to start on page at the beginning, and we're just going to work our way through this book. So the chapters more or less correspond with the sections I have in this blue book, but we're just going to work our way through this book as we get through the term. The midterm exam is on February 13th, and we'll have class, and I'll talk more about the midterm on the 6th. We'll do some review, but just for right now, you're going to need to bring a Scantron form for the midterm. And the format, again, will be multiple choice questions, true-false questions, and fill-in-the-blank questions. The true-false and multiple choice questions all go on the Scantron form. So make sure you put all your answers for there on the Scantron. I'll remind you of this again, but just remember to bring a Scantron. I will not have any Scantrons with me, so if you don't bring one, you're going to have to try to borrow one from somebody or run over to the bookstore real quick and get one. Just as a reminder, most of you guys know this, but on a Scantron, if it's a true-false question, true is A and false is B. All right? And I'll remind you of this again later, but every term I have somebody that maybe hasn't used a Scantron before, so just to remind you. And then the fill-in-the-blank questions, you'll just write those right on the test. And we'll talk about that later. The final exam is the same format, fill in the blank, true, false, multiple choice. And again, you'll need a Scantron for the final. The final is Wednesday of finals week at our normal time in our room right here at 4:30. If that doesn't work for you for some reason, I teach another section of this class on Tuesday and Thursdays in the morning, and you could take the final with that class, although you probably won't want to because it's at 8 in the morning on Thursday. No, on Tuesday, excuse me. So if you need to switch it to that Tuesday, no problem. Just let me know, send me an email, and again, we'll talk more about this later on. But I do allow you to do that. That's fine with me. It doesn't bother me if you want to do that. The final is not cumulative. Not. Meaning that everything up to the midterm will be on the midterm, everything after the midterm is on the final. It's not going to be the whole class on the final exam. All right. In terms of grading, so the way I grade is midterm exam is 200 points, or 40%. Final is 200 points, or 40% of your grade. And then I have attendance, which is worth 100 points, or 20%. All total, there's 500 points, which I just randomly came up with that amount. The way I do attendance is you all start off with 100 points. So like today, as you sit here, you already have 100 points. If you miss a class, and it's an unexcused absence, as per our university policy, so If you're, in athletics or academic programs or whatever, that's excused, just let me know. If you're sick, just let me know, and that'll be an excused absence. If you have a job interview or like something at work that you've got to go to, I will generally excuse you for that as well. I want you guys to work, right? That's the whole point. So if you have something like that that's you just really need to go to, just let me know. The other thing too is if you are going to miss a class, I teach the same class Tuesday and Thursdays, and if you're going to miss a class, you could come on a Tuesday or Thursday because I kind of cover the same topics. So just let me know.
Same time on Tuesdays?
It's actually on Tuesday and Thursdays, it's at 9:30 in the morning to 11 in the morning. And same thing on Thursday. This class is 3 hours long. It's actually, those two classes squished together, yeah. Because this is originally, they didn't have a Wednesday night class, it was just twice a week. And so that's why we're 3 hours. Now let's talk about that point. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, so this is, our schedule time is 4:30 to 7:15. Technically, we're supposed to take a 10-minute break, somewhere in the middle there. Typically, what I have found is that if we take a 10-minute break, we end up going to 7:15. If we don't take a 10-minute break, I usually end up being done about 7-ish, maybe a little bit before. What I found over the years is that by that time, your guys' eyes are like rolling in your head. You're sick of looking at me. I'm done, I'm tired, and we become unproductive. And so it's my practice to skip the 10-minute thing, and we just push our way through. And we usually get done then about 6:50, 7 o'clock. So let's vote on that. This is the only time it's going to be a democracy, right? After that, we're back to dictatorship. So, how many people want to have a 10-minute break? How many people want to forego the 10-minute break and push on through? All right, majority wins. We're going to push on through. All right, so the next thing is who's bringing pizza each week? No pizza. All right. So on attendance, I will be handing out an attendance sheet starting next week. And what you need to do is sign your name, and that's how I keep track of attendance. If your name's not on there, that means you weren't here, and I minus off 10 points per class. So you start with 100. If you don't miss any classes, or if you do, but it's excused, keep your 100 points. You're good. If you do miss, then I'll minus off 10 points. So just remind me to hand that sheet out each week, because I do forget. And I get talking and I forget about it. So just remind me. That way if I do forget, I won't dock you, but that way I'll keep track of it. If you are going to miss class, that's excused. What I would like you to do is the next class session, please come see me afterwards, and I will pull out the sign-in sheet from the previous week, and I'll have you write excused on there. That way I'll remember when I go to input all of your attendance at the end of the term, that you were gone that week and it was excused. I have, several hundred students this term between all my courses, and I don't remember everybody who was excused and not, and so I kind of put it on you guys to remind me, all right? On the attendance, I input that into the WCS system, and so I do that at the end of the term. So you might be getting an email at the end of the term that you missed class from like a month ago. That's why you're getting it, because I just input it. If you do get notification that you missed class and it should have been excused, send me an email and I'll fix it, okay? All right. Any questions so far? All right. I also offer, where is it? At the end of the syllabus here, extra credit. So I'm going to switch over to our Moodle page real quick here. Hold on just a minute. All right, there we go. Okay, so on our Moodle page, so here I have a course handout packet. That's that blue book. So if you just want to download it, that's in a PDF format. That's the same as what you get at the bookstore, and it's just, you can just download it or put on your pad or whatever. Here we have extra credit options, and that's a Word document, which I'll open up here in just a minute. And I offer up to a total of 40 points of extra credit, and that's essentially worth 1 grade level. So if you don't do so well in the midterm or the final, you can help bolster your grade. The extra credit has 2 parts to it. The first part are online extra credit questions, which is right here on our Moodle page. And so you, there you go, click on that. Then you do quiz. And then I have 75 questions total. Each one of them is worth 1/3 of a point, so a total of 25 points if you do them all. Now, the way that this is set up, you can go on there and you can pause, you can come back like a week later and finish it up. You don't have to do it all at once, okay? If you go on there and you answer some questions and you stop and you cannot reopen it, let me know, because I need to fix it. Like I say, when they update Moodle, it changes the settings sometimes, and sometimes it'll make it one only opportunity to do it, and that's not the right way. So just let me know. If it doesn't work for you, then I'll fix it for you, okay? If you get it wrong, you can go back and re-answer it until you get it right. However, when you do that, for each question, it will minus 10% off that question. So like a 10% deduction of 1/3 of a point. I mean, it's not a whole lot. But you can go back and re-answer it until you get it right. These are not due, extra credit's not due till the final exam. However, I do recommend that you do especially the online questions before the midterm. And the reason why is the questions that are on here for the extra credit, most of them are the topics that are up to the midterm rather than after the midterm. They deal with the same thing that's going to be on the midterm. And I'll just tell you right now that sometimes, I mean, the questions are really similar to what I ask on the midterm. Sometimes they're even recycled questions, because I have a database of questions that I choose from, and I hit randomly selects questions on the database and assembles my test. And so some of them may be the same. My goal with you on the extra credit is multiple goals. One is to give you an opportunity to see what my test questions will look like, which will help you study for the midterm, help you do better. 2, you get extra credit while you're doing it, which is great. And then 3, it gives you, some study. You can go through and help yourself study and make sure that you've kind of got the level of knowledge that I'm looking for. So you don't have to do them before the midterm, but I really recommend you do. It will really help you. All my students over the years have always told me that have done that. It really helped them. So it does take some time, but it's definitely worth doing. It's also a good way to kind of judge your knowledge level, to make sure you know what it is. And if not, you need to go back and study a little bit more, because you should be able to answer these on your own. Oh, by the way, I forgot, on the midterm and the final, it is not, it's closed book, closed notes. So, out of your head. If you need to use a translator or a translator dictionary, that's fine, as long as it doesn't hook up to the internet, so like the little Franklin ones, that's cool. But no iPhones or iPads for translator. That's university policy. So, all right, any questions on that? If you have any problems, send me an email or give me a call, and especially if Moodle's being weird. The other extra credit option, and you can do both of these, you don't have to do just one. All right, so here, extra credit options, this is a Word document. If you can't open it, again, let me know, and I can email it to you in a PDF format. There we go. Try to make this bigger so you can read it. Okay. So option 1 are those online Moodle questions that I just showed you. Option number 2 are short answer questions. And there are 15 of these, which is on the next page, which I'll get to in a minute. To do these, and you can do both options together. There are 15, and that's worth 15 points. Online's worth 25 points, so altogether 40 points. So these are short answer questions. Here you go, I'll show you what they look like. Describe how checks and balances work within our legal system, all right? I want you to give me a short answer, like half a page, okay? I don't need a doctoral dissertation. You know, I don't need works cited, I don't need MLA format, just your own writing, it's fine. I want you to do it in your own handwriting, okay? I don't want it typed up. I don't care if you have bad handwriting. I have horrible handwriting. You'll see what I mean as we work our way through. The reason why I want it in your own handwriting is that way I know it wasn't a cut and paste job, right? I know you actually did the work because it's in your handwriting. So don't worry if you've got really bad or handwriting, that's not the point. The point is I want you to answer them and actually do the work, and again it will help you study. So you can do 15 or 2 or 3, however many you want. If you do all 15, it's worth 15 points. 1 point per question. So all combined, 40 points of extra credit. Now let's go back to our Moodle page real fast here. Okay, so also on our Moodle page, I have some other resources for you here, which these are not mandatory, but I have some various different videos that I've pulled off, mostly off YouTube and stuff. That's why I'm videoing right now. Eventually I'm going to put this up on here. Not this term. I'm trying to make a hybrid class, so that's what I'll use that for later on. But I do have various videos on here, and I also have some PowerPoint slides, presentations with audio. Those are ones that I actually put together, so they're kind of the same as my lecture in PowerPoint, and then I've put some audio in the background. You don't have to look at any of that stuff. That's totally optional for you, just to help you study if you want. Just additional resources over some of the various topics that we're covering, just to kind of help you as background information. Some people learn better by watching videos, and that's why I put that up there for you. But again, you don't have to go through and watch all those, okay? They're not mandatory, totally optional. If you never look at it whatsoever, no big. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. But if you do watch them all, you'll probably do pretty well. All right, any other questions so far up to this point? All right, so go back over to our syllabus real quick. So I just want to show you something. 40 points of extra credit. So the reason I came up with 40 points, 200 points in the midterm, 200 points for the final, 400 points for the test part of the class. 10% of that is 40. So that's basically the idea. If you get perfect attendance, you didn't do so hot on one of the tests, you have the ability basically to raise yourself one grade level. That's where I came up with that 40 points. Okay? And I think I said this already, but just to remind you, the extra credit, you have the whole term. For the short answer questions, what I would prefer that you do is bring those with you to the final exam and turn them in the day of the final, after you're done with the final. I can just give them to you then. That way I won't lose them. They'll be in my final. When I go to do grades, I'll have them all right there. Make sure you put your name on them. You would not believe how many times people have done extra credit and they don't put their name on there. I'm like, I don't know who this is. And if you do have multiple pages, staple them together ahead of time, because I don't have a stapler here, so you don't want them to fall apart. All right. Any questions about the class so far? No. If you do have a question, please go ahead and raise your hand. When I'm up here lecturing or whatever, I don't mind you guys asking questions. The other thing I forgot to say, if you do want to record me, that's fine. I don't care. A lot of students like to do record. That's cool with me. I don't have any problem with that. So that's fine as well. And like I say, I am videotaping for that purpose, so just be aware of that. If you don't want to be in the videotape, like sit over there or over there. So, All right, we're gonna break this segment